All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Peter. How you feeling today?
Good morning, Carlos. Yeah, I'm feeling good. It was I had a good weekend. A little weird day yesterday, but other than that, yeah, good weekend. We had
Yes,
some
yes. Very
strange
great
storm
weekend.
patterns. We're not unique in that. I
Yeah.
understand that Florida's bracing for another storm. Um, we had like a night right out of like some sort of horror movie or something going on here. We had something called asperitas clouds, which here's some photos from the news of what the sky looked like yesterday here in Ottawa yesterday afternoon. It was just freaky to see the entire sky looking like this with all these like weird sort of cloud patterns. It looked like made me think of a Van Gogh painting, if you know Starry Night. That's what I kept comparing it to. So, anyways, it was unique. Anyways, but other than that, good weekend
Yeah.
and ready to get back to trading. Looking forward to it. How about you? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good, man. Apple picking with the kids on Saturday. We went through a Halloween light show, drive through. I mean, we did all kinds of stuff. It was fun. I can't complain. Weather was great. It stayed was 65, 70s. It's beautiful. A little bit windy, but other than that, can't complain, man. Hopefully everybody else in YouTube and also our members here in our chat had an amazing weekend as well. All right, guys, as we're kicking back in full gear here, let's take a look at our gappers list this morning. We are seeing a couple of things in the green, nothing in the red today. So far, gap down is pretty light at the moment. We've seen some Chinese stocks again. They're up. Baba up 2.4. Baidu up 2.4 as well. I don't see all of them on this list, but maybe they're just missing some volume to make it to the gappers list this morning. But looks like China continues to be the tickers continue to be in place. So we'll look at that as well. Everything else we have on here. Before we do that, Peter, let's look at our economic calendar and what's taking place today.
Yeah, very light today. We don't really have anything of note. We got two Fed speakers. There's actually a couple more, but they happen after the market closed, so I didn't bother to list them. And then consumer credit number, which comes out at 3 o'clock, which should not have much impact. But there's a lot of focus right now on the economy because last week we had the surprisingly strong jobs numbers, which has people a little concerned that the economy may be showing more strength than is ideal, which sounds odd. Don't you want a strong economy? Well, recently, right, we've wanted the economy to cool down because that would allow the Fed to reduce interest rates, and everybody wants those interest rates to go down. So, continued strength in this market may mean that the Fed pulls back on their decrease in rates. So we'll see. Thursday is the big number this week. We've got basically the economic growth number. I think it's the CPI, Consumer Price Index, that's going up or that's coming out on Thursday. So that will maybe start to, maybe change people's opinion. I mean, right now, when I look at general opinion in the market, everybody's anticipating a half-point reduction in the rates right after the U.S. election, but 89% of analysts are indicating they should see a half-point decrease. We'll see if that sentiment starts to flip if we get unusually strong or unexpectedly strong numbers at the end of this week. But that's, nothing we can do about that right now, right? That we wait and see when those numbers come out. For now, like Carlos is saying, right, we'll just watch the gappers list, wait and see what's happening. I did check the earnings report. There is nothing, zero on the earnings for today. So yeah, it's really just as whatever's moving.
Yeah, absolutely, friends. We'll take a look at our gappers list to start here this morning. First one on deck is going to be SRRK, Scholar Rock Holding. Great name. But here, for the most part, again, gapping up 214%, 2.9 million shares traded. Doesn't look great pre-market. Peter, obviously some big news gapping this one up this morning.
Yeah, which is not a typical name for a biotech, but it is Monday, which means is when the biotechs come on. But yeah, Scholar Rock Holdings, odd name. Anyways, but they had a thing, a drug, a treatment. I don't even know what it is, but it met the primary endpoint in its phase 3 study. So basically, positive trial results, which always bumps the stock, especially when this is their flagship, product or thing. I don't even know what this thing is. Doesn't matter. It made the stock jump. Look where it is. I mean, this thing closed under $8 on Friday, and here we are up 3 times. So yeah, if you want a high risk stock, this could be your one. I mean, it's pretty flat here in the pre market so far, but with that significant jump up, it's likely to move further once the opening bell rings.
Yeah, I
You're
like
on
this one
mute if you're
as
talking.
far as yeah, the activity, but it's not even a low flow, it's 66.8. So again, love the gap up, but I'm with you. I just think it's not going to trade well in the intraday. I'm gonna put it here on my risky pile just for entertainment purposes only. Maybe we'll trade it. Highly doubt it, but how can you not put a stock that's 214% up on your list? So let's see where the fun goes. Next on here is TIGR. It's either going to be a lot of fun, Peter, or a train wreck. So we'll see what we get out of
Uh-huh.
that thing. Next one on here, TIGR. We've seen this plenty of times on our list. They're making it today here. They're up 11.9. Man, they've been on a tear last 2 weeks. I mean, it just started really slow here from like 3 to 5 to 6, 8, 10, 13. I don't remember what the news on this has been, Peter. Do you recall?
No, not really. I mean, this is a Singaporean financial company, so I don't remember seeing any news on it that we were talking about. I'm sure it was out there.
Yeah, yeah.
They
This
had
is
they got
it's
an
man, it's been a
award for
tear.
best mobile app, but on a trading
Yeah,
platform.
we
But
got to
other than that, yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Um, I mean, it's there's somebody knows something because this thing is it's moving aggressive here, right? So it is in play. How was it going to trade? It traded well on Friday. Looking at that chart here, if you look at the intraday action on this 5 minute, this looks very very clean. Decent volume too. Usually we see this in no volume, but no, they're getting volume. Some of these candles hitting 1.5 million shares very easily. So they get volume. They trade well. And you can see the massive increase in volume on the daily over the last 3 days, hitting around almost 65, 70 million per day. So very active. I'm inclined to put it on my list, but I feel like I'm missing out on something here. So I will put it on the secondary just to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on. It's got 7.3 million shares trade up 12% almost. I think it's worth putting on our list even as a secondary. ST S sorry VSTO this morning. On deck here, up 10%. Doesn't look great pre-market. 366,000 shares traded. It did the initial gap up, and since then has really not moved a whole lot, right? So it hasn't been really giving us anything fun. Volume is extremely light on the daily chart. I'm just not sure if there's anything going on. Vista Outdoor, Peter, anything great on this one?
I was still looking at Tiger Brokers. It's a fascinating company here.
Hmm.
They seem to be a
Oh, what do you got?
sort of well, they're like a brokerage, you know, firm, I guess. They are officially Singapore based, but heavily Chinese backed, and they trade on the Chinese market. But I went to their homepage, and it's always one of those me think he doth protest too much. When on their homepage they say trusted, relied upon, reliable, trusted, secure. They probably mention it like 20 times on their homepage alone. It's just like sometimes when you say it too much, I'm like, really? It's like, anyways.
Yeah,
It's sort
yeah.
of like when the Carlos, when the New York mayor kept saying, "I can't tell you how many times I tell my people we need to follow the law." Like, if you think you see you're telling
Go
people
figure.
that, then you're probably not. But anyways,
Yeah, it's
anyway,
it's wild, man. Like again, when it comes to politics, it's not whether you are, it's if you get caught or not. I mean, it just seems like everybody's in on some kind of messy situation. All right, let's take a look at
anyway.
again this one
But
here. have it on deck. And then we looked at VSTO, right? What was the next one we had on here?
Yes.
Um, I don't like this
That's what
one.
you
I'm
really
not sure
were
what the
asking me
news is,
about.
but yeah, no,
I
it's
do
okay.
know
Like
this.
the
I don't
fact
know
that
this company. They're apparently a leisure company, Vista Outdoor. Do they make like outdoor furniture? I don't know, but I don't know. But they've got a new
never,
partnership
yeah.
going. Whatever they do. Uh, See, like I don't even understand from their description. You know, they're a collective world-class maker of brands that design and manufacture performance gear and precision technologies for Vista Outdoor. I don't what performance gear to do what? Oh, sporting equipment and firearms. Bill says. All right. Okay. Anyways,
Okay, there
they've
you
got a new
go.
partner, the partnership with a company called Revelist, which is basically it's sort of like a pseudo acquisition. It's a little unclear whether it's a partnership of equals or they're being acquired. Or I think they're actually acquiring this company called Revelist for about $1 billion. 1.125 billion is the stated number, anyways. So yeah, this is a pretty big company. Apparently, they've wow, a global alternative investment firm. So the Vista partners, I don't know what's going on, man. This is one of these shells buying another shell with other shells involved, and
Mm.
anyways. It's if you want to trade it, go for it. Based on the daily, Carlos, not loving it, but
It's a trap.
maybe today's the day.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's a trap. Too many shells over
It's a
shells over
trap.
shells.
There he is. See,
Not good.
thanks.
Not great, man. We'll leave this VSTO alone here. Let's look at the next one here. Is EH. EH. This one, man, I wish this thing could trade. Oh, the price is only. Wait, it used to be. This thing was like much higher than this. Or am I confusing this?
This has got to be
Um,
Canadian. This should be a Canadian company. It is not, but
if it's not, I mean, it's not. It
hey,
should be. Hey.
I mean, yeah. Come on, eh?
uh,
That's a
well, if you look at the
Canadian
name, it's
company.
probably Chinese. Ehang Holdings. They are up 8.3 this morning, 358,000 shares traded. We've seen this one here before, but again, just doesn't trade very well. On Friday, they had a great day as far as movement and volume 6.4 on Friday. But again, maybe continuation type play today. The float on this one is 40 million, so it's not low like a 3.5, but it is on that lowish type flow. So you do have to be careful in your share sizing and your risk management for the most part. But not sure. I'm not sure what to think about this one, Peter. Had a good day Friday. Do we put this on our list
Well,
today? What's your thoughts?
I will continue to stick to my guns. So this is a company in a segment I like. They're making pilotless, right, drone technology, or but meant to move people, like pilotless air taxis. They successfully completed the first flight of the EH216-5, the dash S, sorry. Uh, but it's a Chinese company that did their first pilotless flight in Brazil. I'm not, pardon me to anybody who's strong proponents of either country, but you tend to you tend to either go to China or Brazil when you're not looking for a lot of regulations to like get in your way. So good, they got it off the ground. It flew. Not getting in it, but if it's tradable, go make some money off it.
Yeah. I'm on the fence on it, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way they've been trading before. They had one good day on Friday. They're going to have that again today. Who knows? Their volume is more than what we've seen. I'm not sure on it. We'll leave it off for now. We might come back to it. Let's see. ACMR today. This is ACM Research, and then they are up 7.3, 214,000. They're just barely making our gappers list here, and I really don't like the way the stock looks at all. I think it's too light on volume. Even on Friday when they had probably one of their best days in volume in a very long time. Look at that, 6.1. They gapped up and just went sideways within 50 cents and just didn't really do anything. So I expect more of that, really. This stock doesn't trade very well, so I'm going to skip on it, put my attention elsewhere. We got some Chinese tickers coming in here. We got Lee, we got XBEF, and we have Baidu, Baba on the list so far. So we got a couple on here. I mean, these stocks, for the most part, they've been really just gapping up overnight or gapping down in some cases, and then not giving you a whole lot of movement right out of the gates. There were a couple of days last week, towards the beginning of last week, where they did very well, right? Like Baba ran up pretty good, but not many. A lot of them just kind of stuck sideways. So again, the move continues to happen overnight, obviously, given the tickers, and intraday for us, we're not getting a whole lot of action. So I
No.
think it's still worth watching some of these in case we do get some kind of sell off, Peter. I mean, maybe Baba on a secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's possible. So keep in mind that the Chinese markets in Shanghai and Hong Kong were closed for pretty much all of last week with their anniversary celebrations, anyways, of the founding of the People's Republic of China. So there's some catch up to do, right? They've got to equalize between the markets. I don't know offhand whether that means up or down at this point because there has been quite a bit of movement both ways. But I am confident that the money will speak and these will move somewhat, at least at the start of the markets, and then we'll see where they balance out and equalize. So because the first day of trading of this week is already done in China, so we'll sort of see where that plays out. But it's probably not an all day trader. But I'm probably going to keep an eye on Baba just in case, just to see if it does something interesting and gives me a tradable opportunity in the first hour and a half or so. But I'm
Yeah.
not holding my breath on it.
Yeah, same here. I think a lot of these tickers, again, JD, PDDs, which is not on the gappers list, alongside Baba, they ran up so much. I believe there's some kind of pullback coming eventually. Might not happen today, right? Might not happen at all, but I'm looking forward to that because I think if you do get that, there'll be some good opportunities to trade a short, kind of ride that sell off a little bit. So Baba will be on my list. The other one I've been looking at is PDD is pretty decent lately, but there's plenty you could look at off this Chinese wave that we're getting. All right, let's stop here on the gap up, Peter. Anything you like on your end this morning?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I've been looking at the market overall. The only thing that's gapping up, sort of per usual, nothing special going on, to be honest, is Tesla. Tesla is still in play. Don't forget, this is the week. We've got the Robo Taxi event, so that's coming out
Yes.
on the 10th, and that should be very interesting for the movement of Tesla. In the meantime, Tesla's just still doing its thing, sitting at 251 right now, with a little bit of a gap up, but a buck up a dollar so far this morning on about usual volume, I would say. But most everything else that I was looking at was actually gapping down. So yeah, that's the only one I had to mention. The other
Mhm.
one actually that I noticed was gapping up, but not by much because it just had moved up right before the open of the show was Boeing. Surprised to see that up. As far as I know, Boeing is still has the strike on. They're still trying to
Messy.
negotiate a settlement, and it's the things aren't looking good. If you look at Boeing's daily, I mean, they've been just going down and more down, but in a slow fashion. Again, Boeing has remarkable resilience considering what's happening. But I mean, they've definitely been moving downward, but not as much as you might think. So maybe it's
Yeah.
ready for a bounce today because you just never know what this thing is going to do. At least I don't. So.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny. I saw a quick article. I saw an aircraft landing with an engine on fire, but right away I knew it was
Oh.
not Boeing because it's Frontier, and Frontier doesn't do Boeing. So, this is like the first Airbus I've seen have an issue in like years. Everything's been Boeing,
Oh,
Boeing, Boeing, right? But this is Airbus. So, yeah. So it's a Frontier. I think I got this picture here,
there you
video.
go.
I don't know
Ooh,
if Frank could bring
it
this
looks
up.
like it was coming from the
Yeah,
landing gear
that's
there.
not good. Yeah.
Oh, is that an engine or
They said it
landing?
was an
Anyway, whatever
engine.
it is,
Yeah,
something's on
whatever it
fire.
is. But yeah, something's on fire. But that was Airbus. All right. Yeah, we don't care. We don't care. If it's Boeing, then we want to see what happens to the stock here. But glad everybody's safe. Let's take a look at what else we have here on the gap down, guys. Let's start with this one. CHSN. What happened to this? CHSN. This is on Friday. Oh, this is ugly. What is this? Look at this on Friday. This is garbage truck material. I want nothing to do with something like this. Look at the action on Friday. It's around noon. People were trading like 3 shares on this thing. Took it all the way up to $12, and then after hours, it actually traded better. How strange is that? This is the market open here. after hours it traded much better and cleaner than it did during market hours. Maybe it got halted a couple of times here, but this is just nasty.
Yeah,
Um, I don't.
it's an
Yeah, I don't want no
oddball
parts
too.
of this.
This
Who's
is apparently a restaurant group out of China. I can't think of any other
mm,
restaurants that are traded on the U.S.
scammy?
markets out of China. But anyways, well, I don't even trade restaurant groups when they're based in the U.S. generally. So, yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with you, Carlos. I'm staying away from it. I
that
mean,
is.
it feels
Stay away
like
from
the
that.
only
Yeah.
other restaurant group or food services group I can think of that we ever traded was Luckin Coffee, if you remember that one, and that didn't really work out so
You saw
well.
how
They
that
had a
ended up.
big scam going on, but it's still trading out there. There's a new ticker. I can't remember what it was. It's a
Do we
long
know
one.
the
It's like
ticker
a
for Lucky?
five
Anybody
letter.
knows?
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
L. There you go.
yeah.
Thank you, Will. LKNCY. So if you're really interested, the new evolution. There's people born every minute that are willing to invest in these things. But yeah, LKNCY. They're trading at
LKNCY.
28 bucks. If you really want to be crazy.
Is this
Anyways,
thing?
but
This
yeah.
thing's not even coming up from me. It's not even coming up
Oh
from me.
no.
LKNCY. No. It
Okay,
says
I've
no
got it here.
permission. It's not even coming up for me. I don't know what this is. All right. Well, be careful. All right, friends, let's take a look here. So we have this crazy one here, CHSN. Be careful with that. I'm not trading that at all. 3.5 million shares float. Be very, very cautious. Let's take a look at the next one, MBLY. This is Mobile Eye. We've seen them on our list plenty of times. I don't think I ever kept them on my list, so never really watched how they trade. Peter, I know you're not a big fan of them either. Anything going on today?
They just got a
Doesn't look like
downgrade
one.
from JP Morgan. That's pretty influential, and reduced the price from $16 all the way down to 10. So, I guess that's enough news probably to move them. Like I said last week when we looked at this last, I don't like it. I mean, it's a an auto parts company, I guess, out of Israel. So yeah, not don't like the way it trades, anyways. So
Yeah, I don't like it either.
not for
All
me.
right, guys, not a whole lot that we're picking off here from our list. I got Tesla, I have Baba and PDD, which I'll probably end up moving up this morning. So we'll move up Baba because we do have the space for it. I'll leave PDD on the secondary, but I'll watch Baba a little bit closely. And then of course, we're going to be watching some of our usual suspects. Peter, before we hand it off to the crowd, see what they like this morning on the gap down side of things, do you have anything you like today?
For the most part, it's the usual suspects, like you said. I mean, Apple, Nvidia, both gapping down here so far this morning. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, all gapping down marginally. They're not big gap downs. Interesting, they're all gapping down, but have been moving up over the last 45 minutes or so. So it looks like, we'll have to see what happens at the open, but that's sort of good patterns for me because it means I can wait for an hour after the market opens and then possibly get my opportunity no matter what occurs. So I'm looking forward to all of those. I just noticed that AMD is actually gapping up. The entire rest of the semiconductor segment is gapping down, except for AMD, which has decided to move up so far this morning. So okay, good for you, AMD. But yeah, other than that, Carlos, it's yeah, just keep an eye on the scanners, and we'll see what decides to be exciting once that opening bell rings.
Yeah, I agree. Let's take it to the chat here, guys. Again, not a whole lot happening today. The gap up list is full, but there's a lot on there that's just not looking very good. So, and some of it would looking very, very risky, like SRRK, which we have here, and TIGR. Got to be careful with those two. All right, let's take it to you guys. Let's start here in our chat room. Bear Bush Traders chat. Good morning, guys. Let's take a look at what we have. Starting with Will. Yeah, we did look at that LKNCY. Be very careful. AMD we have on deck. So AMD right now, it's it's gapping up 0.5% at the moment, 827,000 shares traded. So looking pretty decent right now. Better than what we have seen in the past out of AMD. Day looks nice. Maybe AMD is the one we watched today. So AMD is going on the list. Let's look at NVO this morning. NVO. If I could type that correctly, here we go. NVO. There it is. Oh, this is the foreign ticker. Yeah, it doesn't trade very well. I usually end up not having it on my list. I think the volume is very light, even through the intraday, and you get a lot of this sideways type action, right? And again, this looks better than what it actually is. If you look at a 1 minute, or if you actually look when the market is open, the way this is trading, it looks great now. But at the time it's trading, I mean, you're waiting for 50,000 shares to come in within 5 minutes. Very difficult to read the price actually. If you never looked at a stock like this before, take a look at it. Just put in one of your charts if you have the space, like today seems like we do. Look at this one. Look at Coca-Cola. Look at sometimes GE doesn't trade very well. These tickers, they just don't move. Very difficult to read the price action. So I'm not gonna
They
be having that one on. Let's yeah.
they did announce
Go
a
ahead.
share repurchase program
Mm-hmm.
that they've been exercising for the last week or so. Every day they're accumulating somewhere around 42,000 shares. So looks like that's going to continue. I don't see how many did they say total. Uh, 20 billion DKK. So that must be Denmark. What's the currency in Denmark? Uh, I feel like I should know that. The krona, the kroner,
I don't know.
krona. Anyways, there you go.
Groner.
Anyways, they're going to keep buying until they've spent 20 billion of them. Anyways, so and they've spent
Okay. Um,
how many have they spent? They've spent 1.6 billion. So they got a lot of got a long way to go.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. All right. Let's. What else, friends? So let's take a
Actually,
look.
one that I'll have to thank our buddy Hamish in the room for mentioning. Wynn
Mm-hmm.
Resorts hasn't traded anything today. WYNN. I just interested to see if it moves today. They did announce that they were issued the very first ever gaming license in the UAE. That area of the world is usually, gambling is not allowed typically, but the UAE is struggling to retain sort of its position in terms of tourist dollars and economic prosperity in the region. So they apparently have had a couple of local companies partner with Wynn International so they're going to be building a casino, believe it or not, in the UAE. So there you go. So that's new, and that opens a new market for Wynn. So who knows if more licenses are going to be to follow, quickly, or if this is just a trial for a couple of years. But that's good news for Wynn. So far, I said stock's not trading much volume, but I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah. Two that I want to check out here, PLTR, and then we'll look at MSTR next. So PLTR this morning. Yeah, this thing has been moving the last couple of days. You see a little breakout here, which was nice. We had a gap up way back early September, towards the end of October here. I mean, to the beginning of October, we did get a nice little move up, breaking out of that $37, 37.50, which is kind of stuck there. We'll see where it goes today. Decent volume, not great. 700,000 shares traded. Down a bit this morning, but worth watching if you have the space. And again, today we do, so I'll put it on a secondary. It does have potential to do some stuff. We'll see where it goes. And then another one, I see many of you guys throwing this one out there, is MSTR. So MSTR it's got some good volume, up 1.4. Look at the daily on this thing. So we had a nice little pop up to 175, pull back all the way to 157. And then Friday we took off again towards that 175, and today we're gapping up. So the daily looks very interesting, right? We had the initial resistance here, we pulled back, and now we're trying to break out higher. So could be interesting. Yeah, we'll put it on here. MSTR. We'll see if this means anything for them. Um, uh,
You
I
know,
don't think I traded this one at all in the past.
no. PLTR
Yeah,
was watching it. It hasn't been bad.
yeah.
There's been some opportunity, but there's this article I was reading where the headline says veteran trader who accurately predicted Palantir's rally unveils new price target. And for all of us that know anything about trading, just because some dude, I don't care if they're veteran or not, was right once, doesn't mean that they're going to be right again. So like that does, anyways, maybe I'm just jaded. That doesn't inspire me with confidence, that headline. So that's great. In the article, what was sort of interesting, if you're just thinking of investing long term, Tell me what you think about this photo. Is this guy a freshly shaved homeless person or the CEO of Palantir? Well, it's the latter. This is the. I don't. He looks. He looks um, like he'd be hard to work for. It could be a great guy. I don't know, but I just
We have no clue,
he looks
but
he looks erratic. Anyways, that's my opinion. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, that's the CEO of Palantir. So
yeah, last CEO that looked like that was this guy. What's the guy from that had the scam with Bitcoin? What's the guy's name? Young guy got locked up for doing some
oh
funny
yeah.
business. What's I see how quickly we forget, man. We just forget.
Yeah,
It's
Freeman.
no Freeman.
Yes,
You're
Salim.
going.
Yeah,
No, yeah, Freeman. Sandbank Freeman. There you go. Jeez, man.
Sam
But yeah,
Bankman, Freed Bank. Anyway, see, we don't even remember his
yeah,
name. Whatever, you
yep.
know.
There you go. All right,
Bank
friends, let's
Freed
take a look at
Friedman.
that is POTR. Hopefully, the stock trades better than how Peter feels about the CEO of the company.
Yeah,
We'll have it on here today.
yeah. Look, I'm just saying, just because I might not be trusting that picture to make a long term investment, I mean, I'll trade the heck out of it. Like what the heck,
Oh
right? I mean, if
yeah,
you can make money every day,
absolutely.
it doesn't matter if the company's going to last past the end of the week. As far as I'm concerned. So,
Yeah, yeah. All right, friends. So those two. Then the next one we looked at was MSTR. I have that on the list too. We'll see if that goes anywhere. Up 1.6 as well. Let's take over on YouTube. See what you guys like this morning. DD oil. Yeah, I know. I know. This is crazy, crazy. All right, so let's take a
hey,
look here over on YouTube. What do you guys like this morning? No tickers besides yeah, so no tickers over on YouTube. Again, quiet day, which is okay for starting out this morning. Things will pick up. We'll find something to trade. Let's take a look at Apple, see what our good buddy Apple is doing today. Uh Apple is pretty quiet, right? Apple is quiet. I think we kind of talked about this a little bit. Nvidia is also quiet with 5.3 million shares traded. I'm saying quiet because again, we're not really gapping up or down, but Nvidia's pre-market action looks great. They're already down to 123, right back up to the previous day close, pulling back from the pre-market highs. I mean, just the overall movement on the stock is not being reflected by their gap up and down this morning, right? Their percent is a 4%. I'm sorry, half a percent. So I think it's worth still looking at Nvidia, especially because we don't have anything else that's really moving at the moment. So I'm going to have Nvidia on deck for now, just to kind of fill some of this empty space. Over on YouTube, yes, we did look at SRRK. I have it on a risky pile. I mean, just look at the way this thing has been moving. You got to be extremely cautious. It was halted, I guess, for news this morning, right? So it was halted earlier today. Trading has resumed. Usually when you get halted pre-market, there's no volatility halt, so it's usually news release halt or something else, right? But it's not volatility. But yeah, you just got to be careful with this one. I have it here for entertainment purposes. I don't have shares for short on it. It says it does, but when you look at this here, there's only 200,000. I mean, that's going to be gone by the time that we blink here. So it'll be on and off whether you can short it or not. It's a trap. There it is. It's a trap, my friends.
I,
But it'll be entertainment for us to see here. Let's take a look. NVAX, two more, and then we'll head over to our community events and announcement here for the week. If we take a look at NVAX, let's see what's happening there. NVAX, unless there's any major news, guys, with NVAX, a lot of these vaccine companies, they just don't do anything. So, the pre-market is going to look like this, garbage, right? And just got to wait for the market open to see if there's any type of movement. So, you see the case with these, pharmaceutical type companies. Neo, last one, and then we'll head over to what's happening for this week. There's definitely our week events look much better than this gap up list this morning. Here's Neo. Neo is almost 1%. I mean, it's just this is garbage, guys. Neo is not what it used to be. It hasn't been for a long time. If you want to trade some of this Chinese hype that we're looking at here, yeah, roll the truck on this thing. Look at Baba, look at PDD, look at JD. I mean, there's tons. You can even look at Baidu for what it makes sense here. But this is just not good. It just doesn't trade very well. Very algo like. It has 3.9 million shares traded in the pre-market, And look how the 5 minute looks. And Peter has mentioned this before. Look at the 1 minute. Look how algo like this is trading between a penny here. So it, yeah, this is barcode trash. Okay. There you go. That's exactly it. That's my thought. That's my mind right now. Exactly what it's saying. All right. We'll leave that alone. Go ahead, Peter.
I was looking at the comments on YouTube here, and they're
Yeah.
just amusing me. But yes, I was being a little harsh on the CEO of Palantir. I was just being funny, but he just gave me the mad scientist vibe. So if I go, if just bear with me for a second here, because when I was looking at this guy, that's the CEO of Palantir. I got the mad scientist. So I went to my favorite movies, and I thought, if I line them up, like, there seems to be a similarity, right? Back to the Future, and then I realized maybe it's not quite Back to the Future. He reminds me more of this mad scientist, Independence Day. I mean, tell me, like,
That's
change
a
the hair.
closer resemblance for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
much closer.
I mean,
We're getting somewhere.
so I'm just saying, like, he seems like, if the personality follows what I experienced in the movies, he'd be hard to work for, I think. So that's all.
Brent Spiner in that movie was the bomb. He was great.
There you go. Absolutely. Anyways, there you go. So there you go. That was the comparison that was coming in my head. So
That's not
it's
bad.
good to see Data in a different role. All right. Anyways,
Yeah.
enough geeking stuff.
Yeah. Friends, let's head over to our community events and announcements. Show you what's coming up for the next 2 weeks. You can always check that at bearbertraders.com. Click on webinars at the top, and then it'll take you to our schedule, to our eventful schedule, starting with tonight's onboarding class. Peter's going to walk through to how to get to all that.
Indeed, we got a whole bunch of stuff this week that we're excited to share with everybody who's a member of the community. Today is Monday, which means that we have our onboarding classes, and those for all members. So it doesn't matter what the class of your membership is, you can join today's sessions. We have two for you, starting with the DAS setup class that Brendan leads. Gives you an opportunity to help configure your DAS platform. A lot of us use it. I mean, not everybody, but it's very functional. It's efficient. It's effective. Once you've got it configured, it can be a little difficult to get set up, and that's why Brendan leads this class to help everybody configure it and answer any questions that you may have. Tonight at 8 p.m., Carlos leads our new member onboarding class. It's not just for new members. In fact, if you're an experienced member, you might want to join just to help answer questions, make people feel welcome, and bring them on board. It's a great opportunity to get oriented with everything that we've got in the community and meet some of the people with whom you'll be trading virtually over the next little while. So hopefully you'll join Carlos tonight at 8 o'clock for that session. Tuesdays, so tomorrow we're going to be doing our strategy and trade book series, and we got this back. Our website was a little wonky last week, but here we are, excuse me, with Thor leading the intro to futures trading. Now, we've got our fingers and toes crossed that the storm doesn't knock Thor out this week, although it's supposed to hit him later this week. There is like a big storm front coming right across Florida. He's sitting right at the north end of that baby. So, but I think it's Thursday that he said it was supposed to hit him. So let's hope it doesn't have as much impact as expected. But anyways, assuming that he's around tomorrow, he'll be able to do his futures trading session, which I know has been eagerly anticipated. And he's going to go over how he trades futures and give you some clues how you can do it yourself. And then next week, we're going to have a new session on intraday strategies for new traders. That will be on the 15th of October at 8 p.m. Samir, the DAS class is at noon today. The one that you're asking about, that was 12 o'clock. That'll be in the onboarding room. Also on Wednesday, I was talking about Wednesday here, we have our Wisdom Wednesday psychology series. And Wesley's going to be leading this Wednesday's class with the Journey to Mental Resilience. And then next Wednesday, Mike is taking over once again, talking about the trading mindset you need to build a good support network and how you can leverage that support network for better trading. Wednesdays, we also do our bookmap session. It's more of a technical session, but it's a good opportunity on Wednesdays at noon to get your questions answered on bookmap, see how it works. We talk about it a lot because as Brian uses it, Thor uses it. It's a good tool to help visualize where the large orders are sitting relative to the current price. And Bookmap has a bunch of other features you can take advantage of. So Nathan will help run you through what you can get out of it. Thursday, we do all of our mentorship sessions. And this Thursday, we've got 4 for you as usual. John does his session at 11. Jared and Megan will talk options at 2. Lenny does a session at 4. And then Thor's back in the saddle again. Fingers crossed, assuming that the internet stays up and his windows aren't flying off the house on Thursday. So hold cross your fingers for him on that one because we want him and the family and everybody there to be safe. But we'll let you know if he has to cancel that with the impending storm. But otherwise, that should happen as scheduled. If you want to join us here in the chat room to take advantage of those, to attend those webinars, then consider using one of the membership options, the basic, early, monthly, or the ways to go if you want to get access to those classes and webinars. The Elite, if you want all the webinars. And the Elite Annual, of course, is the best deal. If you just wanted to join and see what the chat room's like, we'll use the intro. The intro gives you 1 week access. And if you're listening right now, you can get that for just $1. It's not $39. It's just one. And go to bearbulltraders.com/YouTube and you can take advantage of that offer. All right. With that, we can set some levels on the stuff we're watching. Remind all of our moderators, get your lists in so we know what you're looking at. And we'll wind up here for this Monday Open.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Peter. All right, friends, let's take a look at what's happening here. So right now I have Tesla, Baba, I have AMD, I have MSTR, and I have NVIDIA. So again, a pretty decent list. It's a little bit quiet this Monday morning, starting out the week, but we expect to find some stuff to trade this morning. We usually do. Once that volume kicks in, we'll look at our scanners, we'll look at our watch list and see what is getting the volume this morning. Let's start with Tesla. So Tesla, as you guys know, this will be exciting coming into this week. They got their robotaxi, I believe is this Thursday, and the 10th. I think the 10th is Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, or is it Wednesday? Thursday? Okay. So Thursday, that should be fun leading up to that. We'll see where it goes. Right now, good volume, 1.8 million shares traded. Pretty flat as far as the previous day close. High of the pre-market is right over here at a 251.79. So we'll slam a level there, 252 actually. No, excuse me, 252.14. That is the high of the pre-market. So we'll slam a level there. And then above that, we have this kind of a little breakout we had a few days ago. Did not hold it for long, but we have 256.12. And then we have the big resistance area around 261.88. So once you mark that there, you're pretty much set. Towards the bottom, we have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days on a Tesla. If you want to get fancy, you can mark down right over here, 247.19. There is a couple of days opening, closing right around that area. So maybe you want to have a level there just in case we do decide to drop lower. Looking at Baba this morning, we are, again, gapping up 2.2. This thing has just been on a tear where a lot of the Chinese tickers that you see, most of them making their way to the gap up list. At the moment, 118.22 is the high of the pre-market on Baba, and then towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market, 116.91. So you put those 2 levels on there, and you're pretty much set towards the bottom. I mean, you have highs and lows doing a great job covering the most recent levels or the closest levels to the price action and the previous day close. So you're pretty set there. And if we look to the left, I mean, look at the run we have had here. It's just massive. We'll look at a weekly. We'll have to go back to 2022, 21. Let's take a look. Zoom in right in here. And if we look at this weekly, 2022, end of 2021, you have a couple of levels here off the weekly. We're not going to look at a daily. We have 126.03, great level there. And then right below that, too, there's another really good one. It's going to be 122.30. I think it's worth noting down. So I think those 2 are perfect in case Baba does decide to rip higher here and continue on this insane trend that we have been over the last couple of days, week actually. Look at AMD. AMD has had a good daily and plus a good pre-market activity. We haven't seen AMD do this well many days out of the ones that we have seen. Nvidia and everybody else, all the tech companies do pretty good as far as volume and action. But today they're looking the best out of all of them right now. So 172.92 high of the pre-market, 169.63 is the low of the pre-market. And if you look towards the bottom, you are all set up with the highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing a pretty good job there, marking almost every single level that I would want if this stock were to drop below the low of the pre-market this morning. Now, if you head towards the top, we look at above this 172.92. We're heading back into July timeframe. We do have some levels here. Let's pick the big ones off first. It makes things easier. Obviously, up here is your main level towards the top, 184.54. And then right here, this is a good one, 176, 178.68. Got a couple of days slamming into that, so you definitely want to have that there. And then you have the ping pong action going back and forth here. Definitely want to keep that there. And one more level, not a major one like the top two, not like the 178.68 and 184, but worth noting is 174.83. You got a couple of days showing support and resistance right around this area, so you want to mark that down as well in case we do get above that 172.92. All right, let's look at MSTR. This one has been pretty active, 674,000 shares traded, which is pretty good volume. They don't get a lot of volume on the daily for the most part. On Friday, they had a really good day here, ran up pretty nicely. Let's see if that can continue. They're up 1.4 this morning, so continuing to show some strength here. Not a big fan of this stock. If we did not have, if we had other stuff to look at, they will be on my secondary list, but we do have space to keep them on here today. So high of the pre-market, 181.91, towards the bottom, 175.86. Once you mark those two, you're set there. Towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last two trading days. We are hitting a recent resistance. If you look at July, and probably July, you see here we had this level we couldn't break out of. That's a pre-market high today. And once again, a second attempt towards the end of July, we couldn't break out of that either. So that has been an area of resistance. We're hitting that now. If we do break out of it, we go back into March, and you can see we made it all the way up to 225 around that area. So 189.99 looks good as well. You want to mark that there also. So a couple levels towards the top on MSTR looks good this morning. Let's see if it can perform the way this pre-market looks right now, which is very, very nice. All right, NVIDIA at the moment, again, just tons of volume, 5.8 million shares traded. Pre-market activity, again, not gapping up or down much, but the pre-market action itself has shown you a lot of movement all the way down to 123, right back up to 125, where just slightly below that your previous day close is hanging out at. High of the pre-market, 125.12. And then if you zoom in on the daily, towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last two trading days are doing an amazing job. Do not need to add anything else on there. We're hitting the major resistance here, which is the high from Friday, the previous day close, and also resistance from before, as you can see there. We did gap up before above this resistance area. 127.61 was the level that we have here. So in case we decide to do that, you have a great level there that we can aim for. And then above that, I think you're just getting into some all-time high areas all the way up here. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see if it can actually break out towards that 127.61. And that's our list. So possible Tiger, TIGR. We have PDD as well. And here's my secondary Chinese ticker that I like. POTR looks good. I mean, it's got some volume on it, secondary for now. And then we have the risky for fun entertainment here, SRRK. Again, I'm not going to be trading this, guys. What is TK? I never seen that. What does K means, Peter? We have S, which means shortable. Let me bring this over here. So this means that you have units for short. The T means the trading has halted and was resumed, right? So trading resumed. And then K, I don't know what K means. I never seen that. Usually these things mean something. I never seen
weird.
K.
I don't have a K on mine. What is this? SRRK, right?
Yeah, SRRK. I have a K on it.
I don't
Not
have a
sure what
K
that
on mine,
means.
so I don't know. I have no idea. When you click on it, what does it tell you?
Interesting.
Does it give you a different
It doesn't
message?
tell me anything. No, it doesn't. This is what it tells me. 200,000 shares traded. You know, obviously that they're watching your how much you could trade on it, right? You can't take a full buying power on this thing because they want to limit your risk.
That's
Yeah, not
exactly
sure.
what mine says. So yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I don't have
Yeah,
the K. So you've got a special K. Ba-dum-ba.
got a special okay, I don't know what that means. It could be good or bad. Nevertheless, friends, that is what you have there. Again, I'm not trading, so I'm not really worried about what that is. Uh, but again, just be very careful if you do decide to go that route. All right, friends, over on YouTube, I noticed the number earlier was extremely low. I mean, it was lower than low. What was it? I lost it
No.
here, but it was low. Yeah, it was scary low. So if you can help us push that a little bit higher, we're sitting at 143. We'd love to be closer to 300 before we hand it off to Peter. Are you starting the show this morning and with Brian?
Yes, that's the plan. And then I think Paris is going to be joining us just a little bit later. He only joins around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, he said. So I'll do the first half hour,
Yeah.
and then we've got Paris jumping in. Should be good.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we'd love to see Paris trade. Paris is an animal. I mean, if you see him trade, you don't know what he's
He's an
doing. You're like,
animal.
this guy's a madman. He's a madman the way he trades. But there's a strategy to the madness. So just keep an open mind when you see him trade today. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, friends, 208. Thank you so much. We're getting there. Just shy of less than 100 more likes, and we'll be where we need to be. Other than that, guys, we're good. Let's take a look at our moderators. Let's see what they're watching, and then we'll come back to see what else is moving here.
All right, the moderators are starting to get their list in, and we can go do the rundown so you know what they're watching, and maybe you want to pick up some ideas and put it on your own list. Lenny's got a big list watching AMD, Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon, Pfizer, LI. We haven't looked at them for a while, a EV company out of China, and Baba. Mike's keeping it tight, as always, with AMD and Tesla. Jared's watching AMD, Baba, and BA. Pierre's watching NVIDIA, Baba, AMD, and Tesla. Megan's watching NVIDIA and Tesla only. Avi's going to focus on AMD, Meta, Tesla, and NVIDIA, the usual for him. We have no IPOs, no SPACs for today. And Eamon is going potentially long on Meta, and that's where he's just going to focus. Brian is trading live with me this morning, AMD, Tesla, NVIDIA, Meta, and Apple. I'll be focusing on AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, so the usual suspects. And then because I mentioned it, I'll just keep an eye on Win to see if it's doing anything. And because I made fun of him so much, I figured I had to watch PLTR. Phil is going to be watching NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, and Baba. And last but not least, Brendan is going to be watching AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, Baba, and Apple. Paris is in with his list, hasn't made our sheet here yet, but he's watching sort of the usual for him, NVIDIA, Tesla, Baba, Amazon, and Apple. So he'll let us know which of those he picked and traded when he jumps on at around 10 o'clock. Hopefully, well, who knows? He's probably still actively trading. His trading picks up quite handily right around the 10 o'clock time frame. So that's sort of his area of expertise, let's say, in the market, right? We've got Andrew, who's an expert at the open, as well as Brian. We've got Paris, who likes to trade, around that time frame. I'm a little bit later. You could trade any time of the day. It just depends on what your strategy dictates and where you feel most comfortable. So whatever you do, I hope everybody has a good trading morning. Trade smart, stick to your rules, and you should launch a great, great week. I'm hoping.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. All right, excellent, friends. I think we are all set. We'll wait for our Brian to hop on in, and Peter's going to be taking over as well and take you guys through the market open.
Yep.
And yeah, over on YouTube, we'll be sticking around in chat. So if you guys have any questions, throw them on there. And I think we're set, guys. We're looking pretty good this morning.
I'm worried about all those people talking about the storm, the big hurricane that's coming in, sweeping across Florida. Yeah. I was just looking at the map that was it Thor that posted in our group chat here. Let me put it up on that screen that I was sharing. It's sweeping right across there, and anybody that's in that zone here, let me zoom it in. You got to be worried about it. Like, it is literally covering all of Florida, or pretty much all of Florida. It looks like by Thursday they'll be in the thick of it. So stay safe. Make sure that you're, take precautions, protect yourself first. Everything else comes second. So,
yeah, my brother's right in West Palm, so if it keeps going that way, it's going to hit him. He's going to be right dead center on this thing. West Palm is like right around where the line is. The arrow is where Thor is, by the way. Thor is all the way up there.
Yeah,
West
right
Palm
up
is
here.
right in that area. Yeah. And Susan, where does Susan live? Susan is down there as well.
I thought she was down closer to Orlando, down here somewhere. But yeah, either way, it's just
Yeah,
be
it's
safe,
massive.
everybody,
Be careful.
whatever's happening.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, this is not the
All
normal
right, guys.
path, I don't think, for these storms. But
It usually goes more north towards Thor and it slows down, but we haven't seen one across Florida. I say we because my brother's down there, so I keep track of all that stuff. But yeah, it hasn't gone through it like that in a long time, at least not that strength. Friends, be careful out there if you are in that area, and we will talk to you guys later. I'll leave you with Brian and Peter. Take care and stay safe.
thanks, Carlos. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, to all the people that in our members and people on YouTube that are in the way of that hurricane, wishing you all the best. Hope it weakens. So just stay safe. See, a few of our members are saying they're in the Fort Myers area in Florida. So we're thinking about you and hoping things work out. So certainly a lot of devastation with the last one that went through. Helene.
Yeah. We've got some interest asking if you could take a look at Bookmap. Everybody loves for you to.
Yeah, well, I've got my screen up right now. I'm sharing Bookmap. This is Tesla.
Beautiful.
It does look like it's got some bids here at, we're right down near it, 249.80. If we look at, you can see here we've kind of come down and filled some orders already in the pre-market. Of course, the book changes a lot once we hit the open, so it's really hard to read into what Bookmap's telling us early on. You can see NVIDIA here. We've got some orders up here just over 125, and an order down here at 124. Take a look at AMD. As I said, this Bookmap will change significantly when we get when the opening bell rings. But got some pretty big orders down here at 171.30-ish. Apple's kind of all over the place. You can see orders there that have been pulled. 226. Apple's pretty crazy. I don't know why. It's hard to read right now, like I said. And Meta's so close to 600, it's highly likely that we're going to see it go there. See if we can see some big orders up there. Yeah, there's a big order at 600. Right up there. So
NVIDIA's looking like it's ready to go this morning.
Yeah, NVIDIA's got some bids here. The Qs are at although we're opening red, the Qs and the SPY look like they're ready to make a run to the upside. So we'll see if we may get a bit of a pullback. You were talking about the PLTR guy. He's
yeah.
I think he's the new meme stock guy. He's PLTR is, he's a great storyteller and marketer. I mean, his the price of his stock is what is it like? It's got a 200 some odd PE.
Right.
He's creating a bit of a mystique around the company and all the things they're doing. So, yeah, what is I had that as a swing trade for a while. I kind of thought it got toppy around 38, but it's continued to move up here. Yeah, PE 235, forward PE 95.
It's definitely increased in valuation there. I don't know. It feels a little frothy, but who am I to say?
Exactly. Ooh, so Tesla just kind of dropped. all these, everything that was looking positive a second ago. Apple dropping. Oh, Meta just popped.
Tiger. Now I want to see what TIGR is doing, just because. All right, I don't have anything that's.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say TIGR has been a hot item.
It is this morning, yes. I don't see anything that's setting up for me for a Rising Devil, Fallen Angel type pattern, which is really all I trade off the open. Nothing with enough news to make me think. We got a minute to go. There's my alarm. So I'm probably just sitting tight at the open. See what happens. I'll watch Brian trade.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Nvidia does look kind of spicy. I'm almost 100% sure Meta's going to go to 600. Might be, if it doesn't jump there right away, might be a good options play. Play the October 11th expiry, no Fridays, the weeklies. What else? I don't know. A lot of things do look interesting. Tesla looks a little weak, but you never know with Tesla.
There we go. There's the bell.
There's Nvidia popping a little bit. And let's let things settle down a bit. Crap. What did I tell you? Meta just immediately jumped to 600. No time.
It did. Wow.
No time to jump in there.
Yeah, I didn't waste any time doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. Nvidia popped up here. Nvidia's got some big orders at 126.
I took a quick short on Tesla. Just took a partial. Oh, whoa. Come on. Go down more. You guys can see my trade on the screen that I'm sharing. See if we can get down below 248. There we go. Whoa. Oh, man. I didn't get the partial in the right spot on that one. But
yeah, nice short on Tesla. I'm watching Nvidia here.
Sort of made a Rising Devil type play, right? So taking another partial.
It did have a nice little pop and drop there for sure. Tesla was looking weak.
Gary, you're telling me to wait until 245.50. That's not my usual level of patience for open trades. But okay, let's see. I've taken a few partials.
Just took a bit of a short on Nvidia at 126.10. This is R4, so we're at R4. So I'm looking for a bit of a pullback. Although I don't like. Yeah, there's some orders up there. Just going to cover some here at 125.84. Here we go. Covering some more, 125.70.
Watching Tesla here. It's getting some support at this 246.50 area. Tempted to take another partial no matter what Gary says. I think I will. And then I'll get all out if it actually goes to 245.50 as he was predicting.
Yeah, that's pretty close to S4.
Yeah,
I'm out of the
S4 is
rest of
246.47, so that's why I was watching
out of
that
the
area.
out of the rest of NVIDIA. It looks like it might want to try to pop up here and go through R4. It's got some orders. Here we go. Just I flipped my position to long actually. Now I'm long NVIDIA. We're going to go to 127.
Just gonna move my stop down here a little bit.
Just selling a bit here at 80, 126.80. Here we go. You can play this. You can play the stocks both ways. Rejection at pause at R4, and then breakout on it at through R4. Come on, I know
Amazon
you got 127.
breaking down. All right, here's my big weakness at trading. I still have not figured out how to add to trades successfully. I don't know why it always seems to fail for me. Not always, but the majority of the time.
There we go.
I need Paris to mentor me.
Sold some more at 126.90.
Partial. Oh, it looks like Mike is long NVIDIA, I assume.
Marshall. It's coming down to my break even here on the rest. So let's see what happens. There is still, the book is pretty bullish. Still that big order at 127 hasn't been filled yet.
Well, I'm happy I took that partial in Tesla so far at 246.50. Now that it's coming back up aggressively, might stop me out now. We'll see if it gets back up above VWAP. Got my stop below my entry and just above 249.
There we go. Filled 127.01. There we go. On
R5 127.34 on NVIDIA for you, Brian.
Yeah.
See if you can hit that.
Beauty. All right.
Well, Jared and Brendan are long AMD. See what it does. I'm just nursing this Tesla trade.
Okay. I'm still holding a little bit of NVIDIA. We've got some orders at 127.60 now. Oh, we got a lot of orders up to 130. The book is very bullish. SPY and Qs don't seem to be doing much. All right, well, let's just sit with some NVIDIA here. See what comes.
Something wicked this way comes.
Yes.
Was that the name of the movie? Something wicked. Which way comes? It's like this weekend I was biking and I was singing to myself Zippity Doodah. You know that song? Zippity
Yes. Yeah, the What is that's from? What is that from?
I don't know. My,
Not
oh
Gone
my,
with the
what a
Wind.
wonderful day. Is it the Jungle Book? Okay, Jungle Book. Is it
Oh, there you
Baloo
go.
then that sings it? Sounds like a Baloo song. There you go. Anyways, Songs of the South. Oh, see, it's close, but a bear sung it, right?
All
Anyways,
right, we're
I was thinking to
we're
myself, and
looking
then I
through.
got into this when you're biking, sometimes it's boring. I got myself into like a half-hour debate in my own head. I'm pretty sure it's zippity doo dah, but then what's the next word / line? Is it zippity yay,
Zippity.
zippity yay,
No,
yippity yay,
it's Zippity Day. It's Zippity Day, I
zippity
think.
day? Hmm.
Yes.
Zippity yay? I don't know. Let me take a vote on this.
Okay.
Yeah. Connor, you
Well,
do the same
okay.
thing? I find my brain gets stuck on like dumb things, right? I get a lyric stuck in my head over and over, and then I start to question whether I'm actually singing it right, or I'm just looking at scenery. I'm biking along. I usually bike with people, so you don't listen to music either. I don't like listening to music on my bike because then I can't hear things like cars. But anyways, yeah, Connor, I there you go. I hear you. I have the exact same thing. Now, sorry, Bob. Yeah, my apologies to anybody out there that I've now infected. That's my bad. I was just sharing, but now I've. All right, just getting ready to come close a
rejection
little bit here.
at rejection on NVIDIA. Again, I'm out of most of my position. I was looking for kind of a 128 move and then a 130 move. I think we still may get that today. The book itself is still very bullish. Tesla's struggling to get above the VWAP /9 EMA.
All right, I tried. I just tried adding to Tesla. It's got to drop now because now my stop is at
Yeah,
VWAP. So if
I added back a little bit on NVIDIA. Added back to my position there, 127.20.
guess I didn't pick the best spot to add, and it looks like I'm going to get stopped at. No,
It's hard to say. It's still struggling at the 9 EMA on the 2-minute.
Drop it like it's hot, Tesla. I'm telling you, every time I add, it feels like I just get stopped out quickly.
Not liking my ad there.
Gary promised me 245.50.
Qs are rolling over here a bit. The SPY's is struggling. Okay, if I want to see a move up here, still on NVIDIA. Let's see this thing push back above 127.50. I'm actually thinking of getting out here. I'm going to get out. I'm not liking the way this is rolling. Yeah, I'm out of the rest. It might come back up. I just I'm feeling like the momentum's out of it, and the Qs. I don't like the direction the Qs are going. Wow, AMD is dropping as well, back to low of day. Hey, there goes your Tesla trade.
I know.
Yeah,
this might actually work out.
Right.
Let's see, Gary. Oh yeah, you got in pretty much the same time I did. You added a little at a better place than I did, it looks like. Yeah. Looks like both your entries, Gary, are just a little bit better than mine. So, all right, be that way. Show off. I'm just jealous. Okay. All right, Gary, you've been right so far. Let's now I'm expecting 245.50.
Let's take a look at Tesla.
Excellent, Gary. I'm just kidding. No, it's an awesome trade and good for you because I mean you knew what you're looking for. You didn't trade because someone else did it. You did because it gave you what you were looking for. So that's all I could ask for. It's lovely to see.
Yeah. Tesla looks like it might be going down to that 246 level. There's it's the low of day here, and there's still a big order there that it didn't get filled. Okay, NVIDIA did bounce off the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. It's kind of where you would expect, very close to the VWAP as well. Here goes Tesla.
Just
some orders there.
Just to be clear, those are the lyrics. I've infected Megan too. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. Come on down, Tesla. It bounced here before, 246.40 area. It does seem to like this spot.
I think it's still got to fill those orders down there. I think they still want to. There's some big orders here at 245 as well. I'm
still taking a partial.
Short some. Yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case it holds this prior low here.
Yeah.
We did come back down and test it again.
Thanks, K. Brian. Yeah, I see that. And I'm big on the double bottoms. I trade those obviously, so I'm very conscious of the type of levels.
Most people don't know this, but Megan's actually she was a cook and a singer at one point. She has a angelic voice.
A singer? I didn't know that. You're making that up?
Yeah. Could be.
Wow. Was she a singing cook? Wow. She sings while cooking in the shower? My God. How talented.
In the shower. Okay, there you go. Wow, look at that bounce on the Qs and the SPY. Whew. Big move there. Well, good thing you took a partial on that. Maybe the double bottom. We'll see where the market goes here.
Get your head in the game. Are we distracting you, Jared? Sorry. Well, look, this is my style of trading, everybody. So, as you can see, I don't take that many trades, right?
I'm short Tesla puts, or I shouldn't say that. I'm long Tesla puts, which means I'm short. Okay. So got in at 740, 745, in at 745. These are the 242.50s weeklies. Let's see if I'm really looking for a move lower here.
Oh, Gary, man, I don't know if I have the patience to wait for 243. I guess I could. I could
Okay,
just
I'm going to
leave this
sell.
and just.
I'm going to sell some at 770. Ooh, here we go.
There we go.
Get some at $8.
There we go.
Ooh, yes, nice. Selling some at $8. Okay, a little stock trading, little option trading. What's
There
not
you
to
go.
love? Hopefully, we're getting some likes here. Ooh, look at that! Look at that bounce on Nvidia. Wow, right off VWAP. I'm looking for 245 now.
John's watching PDD in the room.
Pinocchio.
In Tokyo, as they're otherwise known as.
Yeah.
Duo.
We like to make up our own names for these companies, like Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, yes, one of your more famous ones. The other one is Mumbly,
Yes.
MBLY, which is Mobileye.
Yes.
But is in my head, it's always Mumbly. All right. I'm still hanging on to Tesla, guys. You know, I got one trade at the open here. That's it for me.
I'm still short those by longing puts. Baba's never trades very well. There is an S4 here at 245.16 on as well on Tesla. Come on, I want another leg lower here. One more flush, and then I'll be out of these puts. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for.
There's 245.50. All right, Gary. You delivered as promised.
Sold some more at 805. I'm pretty much I'm running out of puts here.
Well, of the day, 245.51. So I'm not sure. Should I just get out of this? I said I was going to get all out at 245.50, but. You know what? I'm taking the money and running. All right, I'm out. Look at that! I made it pop up.
That was a good opening market opening trade for you.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of like you said, a little bit of a rising devil trade. It wasn't exactly a rising devil because it wasn't really gapping down much. And it wasn't really on news, but
no. It was the same pattern, but you're right. The catalysts weren't similar. Friday, I had a good one. I traded Zim, the shipping company, on Friday. Same trade, pretty much.
Right.
If I was to line up the Zim trade, it would look very similar to this one. So.
Yeah, there seems to be a buyer right at the VWAP on Nvidia. We're still making lower lows here on Tesla, so I'm still hopeful we're going to get to this 245 level.
All right.
Just holding on to those last two puts. Here we go, making a new low, Tesla.
Well, I guess I should have had some more patience, but that's all good. All right, I'm good.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Here we go. I'm out at 8:10. Here we go.
Nice, Brian.
Yeah. Well, I joined you on that trade. So 2 pretty decent trades, or 3, I should say. Short NVIDIA, long NVIDIA, and short Tesla.
I'm happiest that my ad actually worked out. I didn't get stopped out. I actually got profit from the ad.
Look at that, eh?
It's like, God, what a day. Thor's right. You come on here with you, Brian, and it's all coming up roses.
Well, it was actually a pretty decent place to add, because you had the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, and you had the VWAP almost exactly at the same location where you shorted, added to your short. So I would expect that after this pull here I would expect we're going to get a bounce from here, because we're right down to Friday's low, and we're also at S6 or S4 here, I should say. So.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with my trade. Worked out well. I'm eager to see, like many of you, I imagine, what Paris has been doing, if he's been doing anything. I'm sure he's got some magnificent trade. Maybe he traded the same thing. Who knows?
He might have. He does like
Gary
he does love
short.
he does love Tesla.
He tells us regularly.
Yes. Here you go. I longed a little bit of Tesla, just with calls this time. So just bought some 870 calls, selling some at 890. See, get a bit of a bounce. A little bit concerned that was all that the buyer in them.
All right.
Don't stop out of there. I have to.
NVIDIA's heading lower, it looks like. AMD also sinking. Apple's not doing much today.
Yeah, here we go.
Abbott Labs getting a here higher Alpha Bravo Tango.
Here we go. Here we go on Tesla. Like more bounce here.
Brian trying to bounce the dead cat.
There we go. Yeah, that was where you're going to see the reverse S4, and very close to Friday's low. All these levels you should have on your charts.
There's 246, Brian.
Yeah, I know. That's right at we're coming up to out of the rest. We're right up at the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, which I expect will be resistance. We are in a downtrend on Tesla still. That 9 EMA sloping down.
Barris is coming online here, and I have to admit, I looked up real quick at the at his video camera. I thought he was in a helicopter. He's not in a helicopter. He just has a fan going on in his room. Really, my eyes are. I'm inventing scenarios now. There he is. Look at that. What's the eye in the sky telling us, Barris? How's it going this morning up there?
Well, pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Awesome.
Diddly.
Awesome.
Awesome
I
possum.
am having a fantastic day. I shot at Amazon.
Abbott now spiking here 113.08 Alpha Bravo Tango.
You shorted Amazon. Well, that's a good short. It certainly has only gone down. Did you short Tesla though?
No, I did not.
No.
I
What?
did not. I did not trade Tesla at all today.
Oh, Gary, you
But I'm
lied to me.
currently long Amazon as well. Sorry, not Amazon, Baba, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. It seems like it's gonna stop me out. So, but let me share my screen, guys. But I see,
Okay.
Peter,
I'm
you
gonna
had a
leave you guys
crazy
to
awesome
it.
day.
Yeah. Welcome, Paris. It's good to see you. I had a great trade at the open. Now I'm going to sit tight, go find some water, and wait for my next trade. It's probably in half an hour. So enjoy the rest of the open, everyone. We'll talk to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks for joining me. We we managed to make a few bucks together this morning. That should be worth a lot of likes on YouTube, I would hope. I hope everyone, and I hope other people were able to make some take advantage of some of the opportunities this morning.
Yeah, we have
Good morning, Paris. How are
over
you?
600
Good
people.
morning, Brian. I'm sharing my
What's that?
screen.
What's that, Brent?
We have 676 people, but we're only at 312 likes. So I think we can do a lot
Okay.
better.
Only half the people like us.
Okay, so Baba has been a mess today, this morning, but it seems like it's gonna squeeze. I'm thinking of adding more on Baba. It's a little messy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dog's breakfast.
Yeah,
Lots of
it is
whiskey
actually.
candles.
But I'm think it has a squeeze in it. So I'm thinking if it pops
Yeah.
up above 117.70 area, I'm actually adding more,
Yeah.
guys. I'm actually adding more on Baba. Let's see if it has a chance to hold and squeeze to the upside. This is my third trade on Baba. This is the one that I'm sharing on my screen is Amazon, which I'm still in it, but majority of my position is out. Baba looks a little messy here. I traded 3 times. It did pop at the open and then eventually losing it overall. So, and even right now, it's doing the same thing. I have to be a little more patient because I think it has a squeeze in it on Baba. If it squeezes and goes above the opening price, 117.50 area, I think it has a room to go up to 118 and the bigger target would be 120 for me. So, but not looking good to be honest. Brian, you traded Tesla, right?
I traded Tesla to the short side, and I traded at the open. I traded Nvidia short off of R4, and then long when it broke through R4. So kind of
Oh wow, nice. Yeah, Nvidia
yeah.
was really good. It did not give me a chance to go trade, to be honest. At the open, I was thinking it would do a pullback and then go, but it just from straight first minute it just went nuts at the open.
Yeah. And Meta, I was hoping I could at least get a pullback, so I could catch that run to 600, and it just right out of the gate it went over 600. So didn't have an opportunity there to participate in that move.
Yeah, Tesla is
Looking at AMD now,
points.
it's at low of day. Not sure if
Nvidia looked really
I
strong.
not sure if I want to take any more trades right now. And 3 trades I've had have been good. 4 trades.
Yeah, Baba is a mess. It's dropping right now, so I'm thinking of getting out on it. My stop loss would be below 116.85 something.
The Tesla's starting to find some legs here. Actually, it's through the it has gotten through the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. It's now sort of in no
Yeah,
man's land
I'm all
between
out
the
on
9
Baba, guys. I got stopped out on Baba. Baba is a mess.
between the 9
I'm
and
not
the
gonna trade it
20.
anymore. Yeah, I stopped it on Baba.
I think that the problem with Baba is it's just over the last 2 weeks, it's just had a monster run from
Yeah,
80
yeah,
86 to 116. It's I think people are, some people are in there taking profits. Meta's breaking out, so we're getting kind of some bottoming action here on the markets. Apple's at high of day.
Baba made a new low. I'm glad
Yeah,
I'm
Baba
out on
made.
it. So Amazon, let's see what Amazon is up to. So Amazon,
Nvidia's back at VWAP. The Q's held 484-ish area. The SPY's back near high of day.
so Nvidia did a bounce.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like Baba's always been a tough trading stock. It's an NYSE stock. I feel like they're a little bit more manipulated.
Yeah, I agree. So Amazon might give us an area to add to the position. I'm looking to see if it was gonna pop to VWAP and then reject, but it didn't not wait for the VWAP. It rejected at 181.50.
Yeah, and Nvidia bounced right off R3. Wow. Stalling at the VWAP right now.
Yeah. Apple doesn't seem to have that strength either, or weakness either.
No.
So currently, no trades for me except for the Amazon that I'm in right now. Baba was a mess. Took 3 times and stopped out after profit taking at the thing, but no continuation. So Amazon was a good rejection. Now it's gonna hit the lows. So this was the only point that would have been a good add area, but I was looking for a VWAP rejection, but it never gave me the VWAP. Uh, Nvidia is looking strong, and now it's
I don't know.
looking
It's
weak.
still struggling at the VWAP. I was
Yeah,
actually thinking about shorting it,
yeah,
but it kind of looks like it could go either way right now. It depends on what the
yeah,
market's going to do. I think
yeah.
AMD is still struggling at low of day.
I'm actually taking a short on Nvidia. I took a
Yeah,
short on
you know what?
Nvidia.
I'm I'm gonna go short with you too here.
So I'm taking a short on Nvidia, guys. It's not dropping as quickly that I would want to see, but
There's a big order at.
nice.
Here we
Let's
go.
see.
Yeah, there we go. Yes,
Let's see. It drops. Here we go.
that's it. Okay.
Beauty, beauty,
Yeah,
beauty.
that's it. Okay, just covering some 88.
Oh, very quickly bought back up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about Nvidia. Anyway,
I think it's gonna sell off. I think it's gonna go to the PDC. Let's see. I think there is a lot of selling pressure coming in. The
there
tape
are
is
no
actually
orders
stepping
on
down.
Bookmap. There's no orders down there. There's really no
Yeah,
orders
these
to
are
go
market
to.
orders. They're hitting. They're hitting the bids. They're hitting the bids.
Yeah,
Here we go. You see that? That decremented
yeah,
so quick, amazingly.
yeah. It's covered some more there at 77.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. See, we had exactly the same idea,
Yeah, yeah.
same time.
So let's see it holds here. It needs to hold here below 126. If it holds here below 126, I think the chances are it goes to the PDC. So the PDC is
We're on
uh,
125. Yeah, it'd be nice to see some orders down. There is a bit of an order at 125.
so one. They are
AMD
trying.
just AMD just went to low of day here. Okay,
Here
we're
we
into some
go.
moving
Let's see.
averages. Here we go. Rejection at those moving averages.
I'm seeing a lot of buyers stepping up too, so which is not good. Uh,
Yeah, again, I'd love to see some more solid buyers lower, but we're not seeing that.
yeah, but the sellers are keep taking over, which is good. Uh, let's see. I'm thinking of.
Hmm.
I'm adding more a little bit. I'm adding more on Nvidia. Let's see if it has a. The sellers
I'm
keep.
just going to stick with what I have left here.
I'm adding more on. I added more on Nvidia. I'm looking for PDC.
I think there's going to be some big support at 125.30 area because that's where we bounced from before.
Here it
And
needs to
that's
flush.
right at
It needs to
R4 or
flush here.
R3, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to showcase a little bit of flush here. It should not buy here. I would not like to see a buy here.
Yeah, see it. They bought off that level
Yeah.
again.
But I think the sellers are
125.
taking over again and again. I think it's going to
Yeah.
flush. The sellers keep taking over. The tape is very bearish right now. So let's see if it flushes. Yes. Drop, 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 drop. It is going to drop. It is going to drop. Drop, drop, drop. I
You
know
just
you're going to drop.
yeah.
Oh, man. This is gonna drop. I am sure about it. This is gonna drop. Drop. Here we go.
It's gonna happen. Come
Oh
on.
man, the buyers are buying, man. The buyers are strong here.
Yeah,
But the seller is
there's
gonna,
still buyers.
yeah.
Still buyers there. It's a fight.
But I
There's
think
a
it's,
fight
yeah.
between
The
the buyers
sellers
and
keep
the
taking
sellers.
over, so I'm confident it's gonna drop. Come on, sellers take over.
I want to see one more flush here.
Ah man, the buyers keep taking
One more
over.
big volume flush.
Come on, sellers, don't embarrass me in the YouTube. This is gonna drop, guys. The sellers are not taking over yet.
Yeah, there's a buyer there at 125.70 area.
Here we go. Drop, drop. Now it's gonna drop. Here we go.
Yeah, now we're
Here
getting
we
now we're getting some volume,
Yeah.
to the downside.
Now let's see. It needs to flush a little more. It just dropped and then bought back up again. That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there seems to be some buyer there, 125 sort of 75 area.
Yeah.
Keeps stepping in.
Yeah, now the buyers are taking over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's coming to the area where I'm gonna get stopped out.
Yeah, sellers just could not push that down.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's trading. You just never know. It was a fight between the buyers and sellers, and clearly this battle was won by the buyers. I'm out of the rest of it.
Okay, I'm getting out as well.
Yeah.
I'm getting out, all out. It did not drop to the PDC.
Yeah, the key here, and we're fighting the Qs now, which are back at high of day. We're starting to get some buying again. Tesla's going through the VWAP now, actually.
Currently, I want to see to get back in. I want to see more selling pressure than it is right now. There are sellers, but the buyers keep buying back up. So now it drops. Yeah, Nvidia is currently looking strong, then weak. They keep buying. Yeah, that was a clear way on how buyers can just hold that price. I was very
Yeah,
confident it's going to break.
yeah, for sure. Here we go. The Qs and the SPY are now threatening to break out of this trading range.
What the hell happened to Baba? That's crazy. That was a bad print
Yeah.
on Baba.
Wow. Yeah, look at that, eh? That was a weird print.
Yeah.
We are at high of day on the SPY and the Qs, but it just seems like we tried to push. Volume came in a little bit. Bit of volume came in on that push through high of day on Qs, but it's there's just not a lot of conviction with the buyers.
True.
SPY, if you look at SPY, I mean, we did push into high of day, and the volume's not there.
Tesla is coming back above the VWAP as well.
Yeah,
Nvidia is strong, so glad we are out of it. And it was a very
yeah, it's
clear
one.
change on how the buyers were taking over. So that was amazing.
Yeah, the Qs are now pushing to a new high of day here. But again, volume isn't there. Meta's really struggled once it went through 600. It's having
Yeah,
a
and
tough time.
Tesla is coming for the robo taxis on Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday, right?
yeah. On the what is it? On the 10th.
Anything else interesting? How is YouTube doing? Yeah, hi Mina. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. MSTR. What is MSTR doing? Yeah, MSTR is actually broke out of the range.
I think your Baba might be going to previous day close. So I'm going to
So Mina,
bounce here
your
probably.
question, do day traders lose money more than swing traders? I'm not really sure the stats of the comparison. There are two different types of way you participate in the market. It's like questions about
Yeah,
like do investors lose more money than that day traders or swing traders. Every skill or every skill set has a different ways of up and down, and you have to understand swing trader you are a different type of a participant, where you are trying to go for a big moves on the swing and you're trying to swing onto multiple days time frame. But day trading you have to manage your risk. uh, on a very short time frame you're winding your positions on in a matter of minutes, hours, or sometimes it lasts for a day or so. So it might not be a good comparison to see if day traders lose more money than the swing traders, because they have their own style of trading. But
I think it
sorry.
partly depends on the market. It partly depends on the market too. And I mean, yeah, it's a difficult question to answer. I mean, some market conditions are much more favorable for is more favorable for swing traders.
Yeah, of course. And currently, you and that's a good point. It depends on the market environment as well. Like if a very high volatile environment could be very good for day traders, however, a
Yes,
high volatile environment would be bad for swing traders.
yeah.
Because it would test multiple prices. Managing risk as a swing trader is difficult. As a day trader, you can scalp around in and out on the positions and trading the ranges. So it depends on the market environment as well. And in the world of prop trading, you would see a lot of prop firms would stop traders taking swing positions if you are in a high volatile environment. They would just say that day trade, day in day out, be quick in your profit taking. And when you are in a low volatile environment, and VIX is a very good way to look in on how, if it's a high volatile or a low volatile. And low volatile environment, they tend to increase more exposure to swing trading. So you always want to understand what environment you are in. So Nvidia is actually looking interesting for a long. but it's
Hmm. Well, we tried to break out on the Qs and the SPY. There just wasn't volume there. There was a bit of volume, but again, volume really, you need volume to see a really good breakout. And we didn't get that. So now we're back. We're back to an area where we broke out from. So let's see what the market does with that.
Hey, Brian and Paris, just reminding the chat that we're going to have Jared at 10:30.
All right.
Yeah, he's just going to go through the
awesome.
week and what he thinks will happen in the market.
That's great. Jared's been on his deathbed for the last week, so it looks like he's back from the brink. Good. Hopefully he's feeling 100% again.
Yeah, absolutely, and hope he feels better. But guys, uh, if you want to talk about market structure, overall big picture, Jared is the guy. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is very, very good at understanding the environment that we are in, very good at the structure and which phase we are in, very, very knowledgeable
yeah.
in terms of
Really good
that.
at
So
seeing levels
yeah, yeah.
where there's supply and where there's demand. So yeah, always informative.
So I'm adding more short on Amazon. I added short on Amazon at the for the
Wow.
break of low of the day. Not a great entry, but my average is pretty good, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm
Nvidia
surprised
was a
Amazon really has been struggling here. It's on a 60-minute chart over the last week or so. It's at a new low.
yeah. So Amazon dropped. That's very good.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
crazy.
I should have flipped Nvidia. Nvidia was
Yeah,
uh,
that pullback to get in again.
no. I was thinking of going long, but I did not go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Tesla is chopping
Tesla
around.
pulled. Yeah, it pulled back. Now it's back below the VWAP.
Yeah, there are higher and higher ask on Nvidia. So Nvidia looks like it wants to break the high of the day.
Yeah,
The
there's
ladder structure is very bullish.
yeah. I was going to say the book is very bullish. There's no orders to the downside, and you can see all these orders: 128, 129, 130 to the upside.
So Amazon did a bounce. Nvidia is looking strong again. Now it's Tesla is looking weak. Uh, the sellers are taking over on Tesla.
Hmm. I'm shorting Baba on
Short Baba.
1585.
What is Baba? Yeah, Baba is actually looking good on the short side.
It's at not really. I don't really like the area I'm shorting, but it looks like it's going to lose this. Here we go. It's going to lose this.
Yeah, very nice short, Brian. Very nice. I was thinking of
Yeah.
shorting Tesla. I did not take a shot, but it looked really good.
Okay, Brian and Paris, time to say
Yes,
goodbye.
sir. All right.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, everybody, everybody out there on YouTube, thanks for joining us this morning. Trading in the open, and yeah, stay tuned for Darren, Jared, Paris. Thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks you, everyone on YouTube. Hope you enjoy the session and watch out for Jared after this.
Yeah.
So take care,
Yeah.
and please do not forget to throw a like button.
Yeah,
So yeah, take care, guys.
definitely. Cheers.
Jared, welcome.
Good morning. How are you, Brent?
I'm doing okay. How you feeling?
Are you active, alive? Uh, not not half asleep, which is kind of the benefit too. Part of being sick is just losing your cognitive abilities. So feeling better.
Good to hear.
All right, let me go ahead and share screen. Make sure we have something to kind of talk on here. Okay, so let's see, a little bit of review and a little bit of kind of what was covered this morning. Um, Wanted to kind of give the people on YouTube some of the general assessment that we're currently using inside of the engineering the market session, and then maybe some follow up with maybe what we're looking for not only this week, but also into the rest of October. Um, right now, the overall S&P is very balanced, and that is something that has kind of been in focus since the FOMC gap up open that we saw about 2 weeks ago. So, the first things first is to say, has the market been advancing, declining, or going sideways? And pretty much since we last spoke, since it's been about 2 weeks, this is a pretty sideways looking chart. There's obviously some high end and some low end. I've also just for reference put what those actual levels are. I'm calling it sort of the gap up regular trading hours high, so FOMC high about 572.88, and then the previous all-time high, which was a huge price to get over for that particular session. So the FOMC was either going to break all-time highs or maybe break and reject. It was too close to really do anything else. So from all intents and purposes, we are sideways on this time frame, but importantly, we're also hovering at an all-time high, and that kind of makes the price risk a little interesting because buying the dip right now doesn't feel like too much of a dip. We had some bigger volatile downside back in um, late July and then back into September, the first week of September. But pretty much everything else has been within this trading range. And we haven't quite seen a new price exploration move, which a lot of people would just refer to as a new trend or maybe a new expansion of range. So from those levels, one could argue that at least since we last spoke, you could have kind of closed your eyes and not really seen anything new in the market of which we're trying to figure out what's going to be the kicker. Needing the market to break out or break down, mostly important for certain types of swing traders. Intraday traders sometimes really enjoy this because we get some range volatility that's kind of baked into some of our sessions, but everything else is kind of a mixed bag because as we continue to kind of trade around 570 midline, the S&P builds up this energy, and the release of that energy is going to come usually in the form of some sort of confirmation. We're either looking for a breakout if we're talking trend continuation or failure. And I think failure up here is going to have a bigger context because of the levels that it happens to be failing at. Failing kind of in the middle of some stuff might just continue a move, but if you fail at the all-time highs, you can create almost like a larger supply zone that tends to be quite impactful for the rest of the year. All that said, the overall outlook here is that we're really just waiting to see what sort of new money buying comes in and whether or not that's going to be in our risk on sectors. So, as I shift over to the NASDAQ, similar sort of approach here, but I would argue that the high that sits in front of us, at least the one that was made a couple of days post FOMC, maybe the week right after FOMC, that high unfortunately did expand this range, and yet we're still struggling in the lower parts of it. So, if we're playing maybe devil's advocate here, one could start to draw an early head and shoulder sort of look, and that would, of course, be the bearish side of the market if this were a full reversal pattern moving forward. So, it's quote unquote anyone's game in balance. I usually tip my hat to the previous participant. I'm reversing off of a sideways area is often referred to as like a flip sort of range. But for now, I'm not really seeing anything indicative of seller control. Just because we have a high doesn't mean that sellers are fully confident to step into this market because they're not breaking anything down yet. So, they need to prove a bit more. And then, of course, last but not least, is this really where new money is kind of entering? And I kind of shift over maybe into the IWM because a lot of what contextually is coming from the Fed should be providing these companies with a bit more of an edge into October. And yet, this index has been particularly tricky to trade this year. One, because it was sideways for so long, and then two, when it does start to move up, it's very, very fast. So it's almost like you have to anticipate some of these moves or just catch like a 1 or 2 day breakout in order to really kind of secure a position. Additionally, the performance that we have seen, even though it currently marks the all-time high on this index, does indicate that the index was up about 15%, prior to the volatility that we saw back in August. So really just looking for new money trades at this point and referring to old money trade as the old technicals. So if we're talking bullish, I want to see the IWM step out of this channel. If we're talking bullish, I want the NASDAQ to get over this range. And if we're talking bullish, the SPY needs to, unfortunately, continue to make all-time highs. If that does not continue, there is some risk back to the downside. Obviously, plenty of room for things like weekly higher lows. So, not really calling for crash or anything at this point, just referring to levels where they actually sit. The prior week, given the conflict that has arisen, has led to new money entering into the energy market. And while this is a sector in focus right now, this particular sector rallying is not necessarily conducive to bullish momentum in the indices. So while we could certainly be talking about maybe bullish trade in energy stocks, usually we're always kind of looking for leadership in this particular group. That doesn't necessarily mean that the indices are going to rise on the back of this type of momentum. And as I was reviewing maybe some of the other sectors from last week, anything that had, I would say, weekly performance, let's say the weekly candle is green as opposed to red. Most of those candles are in range. So I was looking at financials kind of getting compressed into their earnings. That'll obviously be one of the kickers that could lead us to a new move. Um, Looking at maybe the defensive names, those obviously had a pretty bearish week last week. So we lost altitude in defensives. And industrials inside week, little bit of a new high, but not a great closure last week. Utilities, another defensive kind of group, obviously new highs, but then fading off of it this session. Actually, these first Monday candles are not formed. I'm looking at the one prior, and additionally extended. I do want to refer to the fact that a lot of these wave momentum moves are pretty much done. They've completed usually these ABC type maneuvers, and that's where you'd expect some sort of profit taking or engagement of maybe some backside. And then really what we're looking for here is like, well, are they starting to step up into risk on? We obviously would love to see tech back in leadership position. There is some additional room here. We could certainly make a little bit more of a new price high over the past couple weeks, but part of last week was to the downside. And that wasn't conducive to new breakout, nor was the volume there to really carry that through, which led to the week being a step up week, but not a breakout move. Losing altitude first and having to recover. Same thing with communications. I bring up the weekly here, new swing high, but extended. And, obviously that should have been good for momentum trading, but that wasn't quite enough to get the NASDAQ back on step. And then finally, our discretionaries, almost an engulfing week, had the buyers not stepped up towards the latter half of the week. You'll notice that we actually undercut the prior week at one point. This was a fully red session, and then we obviously recovered closer to Friday. So, from the technical overview, there's not much here that I would say we're ready to really chomp the bits on as far as a buyer is concerned. But because of the breakouts that we saw a couple weeks back, everything still has bullish order flow. So pullbacks right now are still considered by a bull until we get things that are larger changes of trend. Our weeklies are still in focus, still, seeing a lot of backside towards these larger moving averages, and that can be, pretty much conducted on any of these pullback operations that took place last week. Let's do XLC. You'll notice the pullbacks here, not really following that because we're on the expansion right now, and obviously over the all-time high. Versus all the overextension in our defensives and seeing that money kind of rotate out. So profit taking, we'll just call it like some backside trading, and losing some of the extensions from July and August, which were very defensive periods. So this is kind of the game right now. I know these time frames are a little larger than most of our intraday traders would prefer, but it's also true that we're trying to look for the reason to play towards anything that's outside of balance. And when we're talking about our index traders, someone trading mini ES or NASDAQ futures or the SPY itself or SPX options, really just focusing on the range intact and then waiting for very likely some overnight trade to kick us out of balance, whether that be earnings coming up this week or anything that would be conducive towards some information towards the next FOMC. And then, of course, switching right into the FOMC. Let's see if I can pull that up really quickly. Let's get another. Got Windows on Windows right now. Okay. So, what do I mean by changes in the perspective of the next FOMC? Well, we know that this past one was important. Not only did we get our first rate cut, but it happened to be a 50-point rate cut. So moving forward, the market's ability to price whether we're getting a single 25-point basis rate cut, a 50 basis rate cut, and then of course the sentiment towards each one of these. Why are we driving rates down so quickly, and what does that imply for the economic strength moving into next year? The one thing that really caught my attention last week was some of the changes in these probabilities over the next meeting. And unfortunately, I lost sight of some of that because of the way it kind of segments this data. But there was a lot of information that came out on Friday that actually shifted these probabilities significantly. So, unfortunately, it's not the same view just because it doesn't track it day by day, every single day. But what it does show is that these target rates are changing significantly based on the data that we're seeing. And the one that really catches my attention is the large shift that took place on Friday, where, theoretically we were sitting pretty much pegged or like fully priced in at this idea that we're going to get a 50-point rate cut into November. And as of Friday, that probability has shifted, not completely, but we're starting to see the first signs of, there you go, the first signs of pricing in no rate cut. And that's really, really important. Am I getting that right? Yeah. Wow. That actually shifted a lot more than I thought. We're starting to price in no rate cut into November. So think about how significant the change of sentiment is currently. We just got a 50-point rate cut, and now the market is pricing in no rate cut, indicating that the Fed is not only moving too fast, but the data is suggestive that they shouldn't be cutting rates at all if this probability were to rise. At least that's the market's judgment of that. So yeah, and I apologize. The the probability shifted so much that I actually didn't see that that's a zero rate cut. That you'll notice that 1 week ago we were pricing in 50 basis points and 25 basis points. Now we're pricing in 25 and 0. So it goes to show, like right now, the FOMC is still a big ticket item for this market. And the ability for the market to price in theoretically what they assume the Fed is going to do, along with the implications of this. Why is the data so suggestive of high probability changes? That information is very important right now, and it can drive a lot of trade to be reactive. Our trade right now seems to be very much shifting around into what the next perspective is going to be, as opposed to just staying in sort of a convicted mode, which is something we did pretty much at the beginning of the year as the market was only pricing in a Fed that was going to cut rates. Now we're very much on the reactive side of whether or not they're going to cut rates aggressively or at all into November. So I know that's kind of a lot to maybe assess, and a lot of it is covered in our pre-market prep, but I think it's important not just to see what the current standing is, but also what was in place last week or, prior to some event of data. And with Friday's, I think, job report, that was a big kicker for the market to change these probabilities. So, yeah, that's kind of what's been in focus right now. If you're technically minded, I would say a lot of trade right now is kind of building up in the overall S&P. So we're really waiting for that next full confirmation of a breakout or breakdown. Everything else right now is about kind of playing what has room to move, which simply means that a lot of times we play something for a couple days, usually bullish, and then we let it go. Trade right now to me feels maybe 1 to 3 days stable, and then everything kind of reverses. And just looking across the board, there's been a lot of back and forth as we've tried to expand and then usually come back pretty significantly before we try again. I bring up Nvidia, I bring up stocks like Tesla. These are, these reversals are decent in their magnitude, and the last thing you want to do is get trapped at the wrong time. So, um, so yeah, we're always looking for that kind of stuff. And the last thing I'll say, and it was something that I think would have been more important 2 weeks ago, but it is in focus. Our China stocks are definitely ones to keep an eye on. I think a lot of traders are either trying to catch momentum trades at this point or scouting overextended tops, which is a perfectly fine trade logic, as something gets parabolic. Today makes another case that we might have a short-term top. We're kind of seeing some gap up opens with not too much follow through. Tiger is a great example of one. Look how precise they're coming into previous day close after that huge overreach on Friday and into the gap up. Baba, some similar activity there. So if you're scouting highs on these things, just be careful with your downside expectation, because unfortunately we've had some traders kind of step in too early to the short side. They obviously aren't in reference at this moment, but if you're looking for some fade opportunity, I'd say keep these on watch. Because they're parabolic, their potential to come in is wider from a price per share expectation. So if you like maybe top ticking or maybe looking for some credit opportunities, which is definitely on my list, selling some of these extended stocks might be the next good trade to look for this week. So, all right, that's about 20 minutes. So I'm going to start looking for questions as we wrap up here. I did drop out of the chat room, so I apologize for that. Bring this back over. So let's see. I have to log back in.
Are you worried about you're not sharing your chart in chat?
No, I just dropped out of the chat room because of the sound instead of muting it. So
Gotcha.
I log back. Yeah. Sometimes having 2 or 3 of the same screen really throws my eyes off.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, send in
Yep.
your questions on YouTube and in the BBT chat room for Jared.
So, a question from Yaka Adventures referring to the jobs data. Are you sure it's accurate and not politically aligned? That's not really for me to really call or really determine. What I care about is what the market does with it. So, there's information that is interesting and maybe kind of nice to talk about, and then there's information that makes us money. So I'm going to be as frank as possible with that type of assessment. If the discussion towards it offers a trade idea, then we can take it. If it's fun to talk about or maybe politically aligned, then so be it. But the only thing that really matters for trading is there a way we can make money off of it? And if there isn't, then it's data, but it's not really useful. So that's how I take most of those types of assessments. Let's see. Question in the BBT chat room. How do you know there won't be a rate cut in November? So we don't. What we have is the Fed Watch tool, which gives us an idea of how the Fed fund futures which is an actual trading product out there, just so everybody knows. This is a contract that you can open up on your chart, and you can see what the market is pricing in for the next meeting. This tool makes it a little bit more visually readable than the futures contract, because that's just a number. But it's important to see how these probabilities are changing. And what's interesting is that last week, if you look at last week's probabilities, the Fed Fund futures was not pricing in no rate cut. So not pricing in zero. As of Friday and into today, that probability has shifted to 16%. So it's kind of like saying something that had a zero probability all of a sudden jumped up to being 1/5 of a probability, or 20% probability ish. Obviously, kind of cherry picking the range there. Isn't that interesting? Because what made the market change it? And we would allude to Friday's data being the driver. So please, yeah, the tool. Yeah, sure. I can share it in the chat room here. This is a tool that we bring up pretty much once a week. I know Peter on pre-market prep brings it up a lot. It's a very important tool for those who just want to track this information. You can trade them, but oftentimes we would be looking towards the bring up the ZQ. Yeah, just trying to remember the ticker name. So for reference, this is what it looks like. And you're like, well, how the heck do you trade something like this? Well, this product shows the changes in probability and then the eventual confirmation of the Fed fund rate every single meeting. So when the probabilities change, these prices change. And if it's, leaning towards a rate cut or a higher degree of a rate cut or changing back to neutral, then these prices also reflect that. Oftentimes you'll see traders taking trade using options on this product or something equivalent towards like euro, the euro equivalents. Pretty complex discussion, but the reason I bring that up is because there is trade opportunity based on your assessment of whether or not these probabilities are accurate. So when you think about it, that's kind of what every trader is trying to do. It's saying, well, this is where the market is. What's the probability that it's going to change? And if you take a trade before that change happens, you win. You speculated one move, and if you put the right trade on, you get to keep the profit. The difference in the value. So that's kind of what we're doing here, but most of the time we bring it up through this tool just to see the changes. Yeah. So.
Okay, I think that was
All right.
great. Jared, if you want to sign us
All right.
off.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks so much for joining us this morning. As always, we appreciate the likes, the questions, the comments, the back and forth, the up and down, the side to side, everything in between. So stay tuned tomorrow. Keep trading well, and we'll talk more when we come back online.